I said to myself right before I clicked the button to go live, let's just go live. Let's just go live. And let's see where this goes. All right. So, back to using Restream once again to make these broadcasts happen. And so what we're going to be talking about in this live stream is going to be mostly creator economy stuff. Okay. So we are going to talk about platforms. We'll be talking about the main ones that I'm live on now, which are going to be that LinkedIn, where I do the majority of my networking and connecting and everything on LinkedIn, business, B2B stuff. And then we're going to be talking about creator work. So like YouTube, Twitch, Trovo, and all of the other places. I want to help you by telling you about my story. So, and things that I've done in order to get to where I'm at today. So, we're going to use these kind of as building blocks to let everybody know, like, what is an opportunity, what is a way for you to accomplish that in your own way. We're going to talk about Chat GPT. Everyone's talking about it. Everybody's talking about OpenAI Chat GPT and the powerful nature of it and what it can do for your content. I put out a piece of content on TikTok first. It was about how the Overton window relates or influences cancel culture and how that impacts content creators and the creator economy. Video's done relatively good for a longer format, short form video. I think it's around 6 minutes or something like that. And it's getting the same amount of views and engagement that all my other videos get. And I'm really appreciative of all of that and all the participation that is happening there. I did just sign up for Twitter Blue, and the reason why I did that was because of the fact that new features are open to Twitter Blue users first. So one of those features that I just signed up for in order to help us in the esports industry, gaming and esports industry, is communities. And I figured I was allowed to create my own community. I don't know if that's because I have Twitter Blue or not, or just because a feature showed up on my app. But I was able to create the Esports Business Network Twitter community, and I'd like to show you that right now, so that we can know a little bit about it together. So, if you were watching this broadcast live, then I really would appreciate it. What's up? What's up, Javier, over there on Twitch? I would really appreciate it if you go to your community. If you're not able to access the community's feature on Twitter, I can send you a DM. I haven't yet added this to the links or anything like that associated with any of the profiles, not even my own profile. But I'm going to figure out a way, of course, to set this up so that people can have a direct link to it that's not, a 1,000-character URL. So you can find it. And Javier says, I'm down to join up, but my wife and I are in the process of making an esports team. Oh, that's really great. Is that going to be in Pokemon Unite? I bet you it will be. But Javier, tell me it's Pokemon Unite, man. You guys really know a lot about that game, I'm sure. Multiple games. All right. Well, if there's any way that I can help you guys, definitely I want to provide those resources and those connections in order for y'all to be successful in starting that esports team and all of that. So this is the resource that I'm trying to build now. I've got a pinned tweet there that, like I said, I'm not a big Twitter head or like a Twitter user or know a lot about Twitter, but I've built the Facebook group to about 1,000 members, and I've got the LinkedIn group up to a couple hundred. But let's work on building a community over on Twitter as well, bringing everybody together and helping each other by sharing our knowledge and our experience in the space and what we know the best and whatnot. For sure. All right, man, Javier. I want to get in touch with you, so I'll DM you after this, so I can learn more about what you got going on with Pokemon Unite and everything else that you got going on over there. I just want to basically with this stream, I always like to just shoot the content out, and then afterward we clip it up and we put it on TikTok and put it on all the other platforms so that we can promote what's going on. It also comes out as a podcast if you follow the podcast on the Anchor or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. It's out there. But I definitely wanted to jump on and talk about this Twitter community because I know when I go to events, everyone is always asking, "What's your Twitter?" And I don't know why that is. I don't know why it's more Twitter focused than Twitch or YouTube or any other platform. I think people just generally use Twitter as a way to communicate, and they use the DM feature on Twitter to send messages back and forth. I don't even hear people ask for Snapchat or Instagram anymore. I always hear Twitter. And so with Elon at the helm and with Twitter Blue and all these big changes, I think that I think there's a lot of opportunity for people to join communities like the Esports Business Network and then find valuable resources for them to improve their lives on a personal or professional level. As it relates to the Esports Business Network, it's going to be that professional component. And so I do hope that you have the time to join the Esports Business Network on Twitter. So here we go. I'm going to back out of that, step away from all of that. And now I just want to talk about creator economy. So, over the past couple of weeks, I've been working really closely with PartnerStack, which is a platform that is both a marketplace for partners and a platform for affiliates to be managed by brands, and it does a variety of different things that can integrate into your e-commerce, your SaaS products, you name it. It has the option to do that. You can go and check that out by going to partnerstack.trentknox.com to check that out. And I think I can just put the URL up real quick. Let's see. I'm going to put that up on the ticker so that you guys can see that in the broadcast. And let me put that up. So this is not exclusive to brands. This URL. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're an affiliate, a consultant, anything in the industry, as far as creative, or even not a creative, but just someone who has a plethora of contacts in any industry, go to this website. Check out what PartnerStack can do to help you. If you're a brand, there's a lot of ways to get value out of working with PartnerStack. But even as an affiliate, There's a marketplace for you to go to find the right programs that will integrate into the content that you create. And it'll help you add another source of revenue by offering to your community the things that are meaningful to you, right? Because the people in your community are going to look up to you. They're going to look and want, they're going to be influenced by you to make purchasing decisions. And a great way for you to maximize that is by working with brands that are willing to split a commission with you. And that's more on the affiliate side. On the more partnership side, there's components such as sponsorship and let's call it spiffs. Spiff is the industry terminology in most of sales jobs, but basically a bonus. So if you're able to hit the challenges that these brands give you, they will pay you out a certain bonus based on what you can achieve. And I know people on Twitch are very familiar with this. And so like when I talk about opportunities opportunities like this, I feel people are very familiar with it on Twitch because Twitch is very gamified, you know. And so when you go to your dashboard, you see that these milestones that you're hitting equate to how successful you are, how successful you are becoming on the platform. So the more followers, the more things, you'll get different achievements that you can unlock. So not all platforms are like that, you know, this gamification component, but I'm telling you, PartnerStack is a great place to go to see those opportunities are in the partner marketplace for content creators. Another thing that I highly suggest is that as a content creator, you're purchasing products, you're buying things, reaching out to the people that you're buying the product from, potentially negotiating a partnership / sponsorship with them to promote their products. So one of those for me, an opportunity was to create a kit.co. And with that kit.co, what I'm able to do is add the products that I'm using, like Elgato and Zoom and Samsung and Panasonic, add those all to a kit, and then use affiliate links from like Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, all of the major big box retailers to get a commission off of that. So that's another component. What's interesting about the way that the creator economy is functioning right now when it comes to affiliate sales, it's much like how it was before the internet took off with network marketing. So your Amcos, your Tupperwares, your I am drawing a blank on a third example, but just multi-level marketing in a way, outside of the fact that pretty much everyone's on the same level in the affiliate marketing space, because a lot of brands don't have tiered systems to where they offer a higher commission or even a spiff or a bonus or any form of additional revenue when it relates to the products that they sell. So it's usually like a 15%, kickback when an audience member or viewer or follower purchases the products that you get on Amazon, they get on Amazon or Best Buy or something like that. So, but it's a great way to get a little bit of extra revenue coming in from a different source. So I suggest getting a kit.co, finding everything around the house, you name it, everything, scan everything, and organize it, put it into a package, name the package, give it a title, go to ChatGPT, get the right SEO language to put onto that kit, like in the description, talking about what the value is and what the benefits are from this by purchasing the products in this kit, then take that, make a piece of content like a TikTok or a Snapchat or a story on Instagram or whatever it is. Put the link in the video and in the description, and then shoot it out on social media to promote that you're doing that. People are not unreceptive to being shown a way for them to receive a discount or an easier way for them to get the product in 2-day shipping, or one Amazon one click. Whatever reduces the friction of them purchasing a product is going to benefit them in the long run. So you might be solving a problem for them that you think in your head that it's a sellout situation, that you're selling out, that you're being disingenuous or whatever. But in reality is you need to realize is that not everyone is like you, and not even everyone in your audience or your following. A lot of people need a little guidance, a little direction as to how they can utilize these techniques to make their lives easier. You'd be surprised how many people just don't know what you know. And it's your job as a content creator to educate them on how they can take advantage of some of the things that you can do. They're not going to be able to be as creative, as artistic, as uh, popular, as knowledgeable, as intellectual as you, but you can help them by giving them a little bit of guidance, like I said, and just a little bit of direction. And they can accomplish promoting you as well when they attribute the fact that you helped them out, to figure out what a good purchasing decision is, what a good financial decision is. And simply enough, right now, by saying that a way for them to save money is by choosing to go through your sales channels versus going through the traditional methods of purchase, whether that be driving to the store or paying someone that calls them on the phone or through an email or whatever, what have you. If you can offer them a promo code, make it cheaper for them to make a purchasing decision, I'm sure they're going to really benefit from that. So don't take yourself too seriously. Don't be too hard on yourself when it comes to quote unquote selling out. You can make money. Don't hold yourself back from making that money by telling yourself that everyone's doing something, or that there's that somehow that what you're going to do is going to be taking advantage of someone, because you don't know their situation. And the only way to get to know their situation is by seeing what is what people need out in the culture of the platform that you're creating content on, whether that be Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, etc. And I say that mostly because the whole cancel culture component is more associated with Twitter. So, Facebook doesn't really, they don't give a lot of pushback, or they don't really, I mean, that's a more of a, that's an older demographic that's used to seeing people profit based on referral sales. Like, they're very familiar with that. Now, I think most platforms are, and it's just a generational thing to see it as the concept that your your following should be sustaining your livelihood without having to do sales. So that's a very new age thought process. The concept that you create a GoFundMe or an OnlyFans or some platform where you have a devout following that is tied to you and giving you offerings in exchange for your celebrity or attention. That's a very new age thing. You know, even the biggest celebrities in out there in the world, your Dwayne Rock Johnsons, your Messi's, your uh, LeBron James, Tom Brady's, um, Leonardo DiCaprio's, they all sell products. You know, they're historically speaking, there's not a singular celebrity that I can think of that has ever not made money from selling some form of product. Even Jesus sold religion. So don't get caught up in thinking that it's a bad thing to be in sales, that it's somehow beneath you to be in sales, because even the greatest entertainers and the greatest people, political figures, the greatest um, philosophers and theologians, they all sold something. And it's your, I want to say divine purpose, but it is a component of human nature to be selling something or creating some transactional relationship with your audience, your following, your family, your friends, your acquaintances, everyone around. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. That's another thing. So I'm talking mostly 80% of what I'm talking about is to people who are actively doing content creation. This other 20% is don't be afraid to create content. People, no matter what you look like, what you do, what you say, are going to hate on you. They are going to dislike you. They're not going to understand you. They're going to intentionally go behind your back. It's Nick Cannon said something recently that I saw on a post that said, like, uh, don't let people slighting you hold you back. They're gonna slight you anyway, or it's something like that, or like that. If you think that people are slighting you are on purpose, slighting. If you think people are stabbing you in the back on purpose, they are. Don't get hung up on it and keep going. So the world might be against you. The world might be uh your world, the little world that you exist in might be against you. There's a much bigger world, and the bigger world is not organized. It is very disorganized, and no one has control over it other than uh, the deity of the world, the one, God, the Almighty, the the uh, largest algorithm, right? The Your wife. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. Your husband. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking. You know, unfortunately for some people, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but the people around you are the people that are holding you back the most. So what you need to do is, like, I'm gonna attribute this to Gary Vaynerchuk, but people always say these things, is get off of whoever's bill you're on, right? Or reimburse them for their contributions to what you do. You know, you can be a consultant. You don't have to be an employee. I know that's really scary, right? That's really scary for a lot of people to not have mommy and daddy around, whether that be the company that you work for, which replaces mommy and daddy, or the the government being your mommy and daddy. That there's some sort of, authority over your money and your actions and the thing and your livelihood. You can go, for all intents and purposes, separate yourself from that contract by understanding what it means to be independently contracted to an organization. A 1099 is vastly different because you have to take authority and responsibility over yourself as an individual. And you can fail doing that. But, you know, that's where we get into the concepts of government, the concepts of, one nation under all, or one nation under God, whatever you want to call it, right? At least that's for the case for the United States. If you go to another country, I don't I don't know much about the existence that it is in other countries, but I would say that it's probably very similar in at least North America and European countries and whatnot. Of course, there are more guidelines and things that you have to worry about when you're in other nations that are mostly ran by other religions, and things are changing everywhere. And I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but you ends up having these conversations because of leadership, and you end up having these conversations because of pop culture figures speaking on different ways to perceive reality. And so as a individual, as a someone, a participant in society, you're thinking, what is the right thing to do? What is the wrong thing to do? And how do you do what is neither perceived right or wrong, but neutral? That's that's ideally where you want to be when we're talking about 20%. When we're talking about the 80% component, you want to be driven, you want to be in drive, you want to be somewhere in between third and fourth gear at all times because you need to be constantly moving, constantly creating content, constantly in the conversation as it relates to the creator economy. You cannot go. There's so many examples of people who quit creating content that no longer are in the cultural zeitgeist, are even in the conversation. One of those is someone like, someone who's been at the very top and hasn't been talked about in a while, has kind of gotten a little bit of buzz in different areas. And maybe that's it. They don't want to be, mega celebrities. It's like a Dane Cook or like even a Paris Hilton. Like they're kind of just obscure celebrities these days. They're not fighting for attention in the same way that they were in the past. And there are so many others. Those are two massive ones that were massive celebrities when I was growing up, and even today, like in the Zoomer generation, there has to be people who've already fallen off, like that made massive celebrity. I haven't heard much about the Amelios, like the TikTok dancing girls and family and all that. Like they're not showing up on the YouTube algorithm. They're not in the TikTok. Like who's getting like what happened? Like they were on the trajectory to be at the same level as like a Kardashian family. Like just needed like they needed to be in the they needed some sort of platform to take them to that level like E Hollywood did or and Bravo did for the Kardashians, you know, TLC or whatever the case may be, whatever. I don't even know. That's something a Hulu. I guess it's Hulu today, like what Hulu does for traditional terrestrial television type things, legacy media. So in this creator economy, like, and I guess now we have to talk about Chat GPT and OpenAI. My friend Knives Monroe and I were having a conversation, and he put it so eloquently. And I'm not gonna, I'm gonna butcher what he said, but basically, the content game has been solved. There's nothing that you can create on your own that is going to be all that unique. Because if you can go to an I know, Javier saying in here, AI is scary. It really is. It truly is. And at this stage, like we're just one step away. And I was telling Knives this in conversation that when you can type out exactly what you want in a picture, and when you type that picture, it looks exactly how you want it, and it's not like somehow artifact or something looks weird in the photo. Like it's actually able to like write out a billboard or design a LinkedIn a LinkedIn banner or your or Twitch overlays, perfect Twitch overlays for your channel, and you give them exactly the dimensions and everything that you want, and it just makes it. Like when we get to that level, it's going to be insane because then advertisers, sponsors, the things that we're talking about in creator economy, the brands will have they can go, oh my gosh, they will be able to go directly into your broadcast, use computer vision and natural language processing to scan your broadcast like the one I'm doing right now, find where the white space is anywhere in this direction right here, and serve an advertisement that's the perfect size with the perfect text, with the perfect colors, with the perfect everything, and it just exists. It exists, and it's trackable, and the you get paid on the impressions, and it's so efficiency. Well, that's the one thing, you know, Javier, when you say the AI is making music, it's crazy. Like the fact that, some look, we've constantly been hearing that Hollywood or Nashville and Music City have been using AI to alter vocals and making Justin Bieber sound like Post Malone and Post Malone sound like Justin Bieber, and you know, mass marketing and testing A/B this, testing and everything to make sure a song is going to hit. If a hit's going to be a hit. There's a book that I read a while back. I can't remember who recommended it to me. I remember them, but I forgot their name, and I apologize for that. But it's called The Sound Machine. It's called The Sound Machine? Song Machine? It's called The Song Machine is the book. And it just breaks down how the Swedish music producers, Spotify, has been able to utilize computer algorithms to shape the music business to where it's at today. And yeah, it is very concerning how AI is able to basically mimic human creativity and human artistry, but it's not that. And you can tell that it's not at this stage. So there's still a lot of opportunity, and I will always be, because humans are able to, they're not infallible. Am I saying that correctly? Infallible. They are able to make mistakes. And the mistakes that humans make, and you know what? That's what's most interesting to think about. Is AI going to know the nuances between what is an appropriate mistake that isn't going to harm, that is harmless, a harmless mistake, to what is a catastrophic mistake? That's the concerns. Are they going to be able to, eventually behave and exist in in sequence? That's not the word I'm looking for, but I'll use it, with human creativity and artistry. I would even say in harmony with, because what is that going to look like with AI? Is it, how long will it be a tool to empower humans, to where it's humans empower AI, where we prefer, what if it gets to the place where we prefer AI to the sonics of AI, because of the 5D nature to it, or like the way that it manipulates sound in a movie theater versus the way humans can control and manipulate sound. And it's able to, the craziest thing that I've seen recently is like the technology that Apple has developed in order to basically scan your head, see your ears, and then determine the right frequencies. Oh, man, we live in the most exciting and scariest time in technology. I don't think that our the you know generations, 2 generations prior, there was a lot of fear, of course, during the Depression and post-Depression era. Obviously, the 60s, 70s, 60s was crazy, but 70s was a time to be alive, and then 80s was a time to be alive for some people, and then so it's a matter of like that 80% of people who are action takers, and the 20% of people who are um, consumers. Like the 20% of consumers, how are they being represented, and how are they feeling about technology? How does the 80% of doers, because the 80% of doers are the people who are, still trying to make a name for their family, still trying to get out of financial dependence and get into that financial independence world, where they're making something for themselves and everything. But all right, so it's going to be the case where we can't really necessarily fully trust technology to be our to be good, and that it's perfect, and that it's not going to have the the fear of the whole iRobot, robots taking over the world, AI, Matrix, bad world type thing, versus the, the Jetsons, like the very family friendly, uh, non dystopian, harmonious, utopia, harmoniously living with AI and robots and those things. Some people will have that experience. Others will have the chaos. And there's chaos now because all of that's being, you know, determined, like how you fit into how generations, not necessarily individuals, but how generations fit into the future. You know, there's movies like 2012, right? So, the Mayan calendar, all those things um, that happened in the past where people were scared of the, conspiracies and everything like that. But the the ark, when they were gonna get into the ark and then do whatever, float off or shoot into the sky, whatever they were gonna do, right? Whatever their existence looked like. What? How does an individual or a generation? What is their social standing? Where's their place in reality? Both how they came to terms with their beliefs, and those beliefs, and how they are able to put them and structure them and package them and put them in the right box to be then shipped out and then packaged and thrown away and then brought back through recycling, and all of these different things that we're constantly talking about out there in the world, right? So the philanthropic nature. I guess maybe we should talk about this a little bit. A component of what content creators do and in the creator economy is, what do we do to give back? Are we creating our own nonprofits? Are we creating our own communities for volunteer work? Are we what in what way are we um I'm going to say sacrificing. In what way are we sacrificing for the greater good? How are you giving back that 20% of what you have accumulated? Whether that be time, by being financially stable and financially free, financial freedom, or it be that you have accumulated things that don't need to go to waste, that can be reused or recycled, or you have an idea as to how the world can be more efficient or more environmentally friendly. And those contributions often come in the form for content creators as tele what's it called? Dang. Telethons, streamathons, um, and associated to some social good, whether it be the curing cancer, saving the turtles, um, feeding the starving pygmies in New Guinea, any of those things, anything like that, to be honest. There's some form of that you have to give back, and sometimes you're the person who needs the resources, so you have to be present. Closed mouths don't get fed, is what they say. Open hands are, if you have open hands, you can receive a handout. If you have closed hands and a closed mouth and you have your eyes closed, and if you're just sitting there vegetating away, you're not participating, you're not a part of society, you will, without participation, eventually cease to exist and be written out of the history books. You will not have any representation in the census of the world when the world comes to an end. It just won't be the case. Though you may exist in an afterlife, that's a totally different reality. That is not the one that we presently exist in, and that will not be where the generations after you will remember your name. I'm going to switch this over real quick. Just to Streamlabs real quick. Content creators who are not live streaming and do not have a live streaming component of their business, go to streamlabs.trentknox.com. Learn about live streaming. Learn how you can implement a live streaming strategy in your business. Once you've implemented a live streaming strategy in your business, learn about programmatic sponsorships. Going to https://upify.trentknox.com. Learn about how you can utilize brands to add sponsorships to your broadcast today. I'm talking about things that are a long ways down the future when I talk about computer vision and natural language processing and AI and technology and how that's going to implement. But today, what is available and the opportunities and the ways to automate adding the revenue and income stream of live broadcast. Streamlabs, that's where you start. Upify is where you continue. Now, hold the phone real quick. Hold the phone. I think, let me turn this off, turn this back on. Okay, now I'm recentered again. Okay, somehow NVIDIA broadcast crashed there for a second. Okay, we're back. Now, if you're not using live streaming in your business model, do that by going to Streamlabs and Upify. After you've done that, that's when I want you to go and figure out how to use referral programs. Referral programs are another way to monetize your audience. Go to links.trentknox.com and start browsing those links. Start learning what you can do to be a consultant, to be a referral partner, to be a sponsorship partner, to be a brand partner, an influencer marketing partner. Figure out what these terms mean, and then figure out how you can get legal support to back up the things that you're trying to do with your brand. Those are the steps that you need to be concerned about. Now, the business component of it, such as branding, licensing, banking, financing, all of that also is included in these links. And if you need legal help, this is not legal advice or business advice, but it is business experience from what I've done. And I'm not saying do exactly as I do, but these are things that you can learn from. You can do them step by step if you follow along and do it better than I did it. You can do better than me. That's a plain fact, because I've done everything wrong. I have done business completely wrong, from not having a nest egg to start business, by not understanding what financing is available to me, by overfinancing things, by underfinancing things, by lacking the network effect of association with people when entering into a experiential marketing opportunity. Let's see. I can go on and on about ways that I made mistakes, and that where I'm at today and the things that I have accumulated on my links are examples of ways that I fixed those things that I did wrong before. And I've figured out ways to use free and paid tools to accommodate those failures, right? So, oh man, I'm just giving away so much free game here. I was thinking about this earlier. You have to understand the rules to understand the game. When people say they're giving you game, they're not giving you game. What they're telling you is these are the rules of the game. These are ways that you can circumvent the rules, but the rules are still the same. And anyone can call your bluff. Anyone can look at you and say, that's not accurate. And it is your responsibility to explain to them why their perception of the rules is inaccurate. That's true game. That's gamesmanship. And if you're able to, I don't know why I don't even know why I'm giving this away for free. If you're able to outperform them, that's called showmanship. People will lose their cool. What makes them, what their comforts, right? When they believe that they're somehow outweighed. Especially people who see themselves as experts, and people who have large egos attached to their profession, right? If they're shown that their beliefs or their understandings of a topic are inaccurate based on reality, and they're frustrated with the fact that you as an individual is more suave, you're more beautiful, they may hate on you, and they may try to do something outside of the box, which is breaking the rules, to take advantage of you or screw you over. When that happens, it is your obligation to call them out for breaking the rules, because that's the rules. That is game. The game is the rules. Now, the game can be over if they break the rules, right? And in cases where they perceive you to be have broken the rules, but in reality you show them that you haven't broken the rules, they get upset because they thought you broke the rules and they break the rules in breaking the rules, then they go to jail, right? In the public eye. We're not talking about, we're talking in synonyms. We're analogies, I should say. We're analogizing monopoly to reality of life, right? You start out with a certain amount of resources. Of course, everyone does. Their existence is a resource. And then you play the game from there, right? But rule sets are still the same, right? Do unto others as you wish to be treated, right? The golden rule, all of these things. If you break that rule, then it is your responsibility to argue why what you've done is for the greater benefit of society versus the way that others or behaviors are negatively impacting society. So now you have to make these arguments. You have to make these statements. Very bold statements, right? And in order to do that, and the reason why I guess we're getting to this point is because we're coming to about an hour here. We've about 5 more minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up and call a conclusion on this. As it pertains to the creator culture, saying the right thing is always going to be a hindsight's 2020. And the only thing that you can do if you don't want to participate in the game, don't flip the game board when you're frustrated and angry. What you need to do is humble yourself and say, I apologize for being misled and for misinterpreting the situation. I perceived that it was going to be, I perceived the right thing was this. You're telling me that it's not. I still don't believe that what you're telling me is the right thing. But what we're trying to do is figure out a way for us both to find a position in neutral, right? A position of neutrality. The extremism of a person's perception or interpretation based on their political affiliations and religions and things like that and their livelihoods could put them in a position where they misconstrue language, or they're using the language of oppressionists, all these different things. People who are racist, all these negativisms, right? So then it is your obligation to apologize for the circumstances and figure out a way as a leader to find neutrality in the situation, because you were wrong, they were wrong, everything was wrong. Well, let's find a stable balance, get back to zero. And that's where you need to be. Be zen with reality, be honed, and be confident, be fortified, be strong, be yourself. So in conclusion, with everything being said there, don't be afraid to create content, and have fun. Good luck. Have fun. Respectively, Trent Knox.